Rallies taking place in the East Bay over what protesters call an out-of-control crime wave in Alameda County. The demonstration is taking place at Colonial Donuts, located on Lakeshore Avenue in Oakland, which was robbed just this morning. That's the third robbery there within the last 6 months. According to organizers, there has been an increase in criminal assaults in the Lakeshore Avenue retail shopping area. The protesters say the leadership and policies of DA Pamela Price, Oakland Mayor Sheng Tao, and Council President Nikki Fortunato Bass have contributed to the increasing number of crimes.
All right, guys, so once again, we got to talk about residents boohoo, whining, and crying over policies and leadership that they voted for. This time, we got to go out to Oakland, okay? We haven't talked about Oakland in a while, okay? But Oakland is still a city of chaos and destruction, right? Like a lot of these liberal cities. And we got to talk about crime, okay? We got to take a break from talking about the illegal immigrants until, I don't know, maybe 24 hours from now. I'll probably have another story on that. But again, we got to talk about crime, okay, in Oakland, okay, because business owners are revolting against Democrats who they say their policies have failed the city, okay, their policies in regards to defunding the police, being soft on crime, not prosecuting criminals. It has caused these business owners to lose money, right? They're losing money because their businesses are continuously getting robbed and there's nothing that they can do about it. In fact, a donut shop got robbed like twice in 1 week, okay, and like 3 times in the last 6 months. They're fed up, right? They're fed up, and now they're pushing back and demanding accountability from the Democrat leadership that runs this city. So I want to react to it because, you know, it's just a shame that we live in a country where you have to get what you voted for to realize that what you voted for was bad, right? This is why I say the best way to red pill a liberal, a Democrat, or a progressive, just give them what they want, right? This is what you guys wanted. Here you go. Now all of a sudden they realize, oh, this is not a good thing. This is not good policy. But common sense would have told you that these are not people that you should be voting for and supporting, like a soft on crime, you know, woke DA that is out there in Oakland, DA Price. So let's get into it.
Well, it has become a common occurrence. Businesses getting hit by robbers over and over again. A family-owned donut shop in Lakeshore district of Oakland was the target of thieves twice in 1 week. Today, protesters demonstrated saying that they want some action to control the crime. KTV's Alice Wirtz was there and joins us now live. Alice?
That's right, Jana. The demonstration was in response to increasing crime that has small business owners shaking their heads as robberies continue to hit their stores, and they're calling for more action from leadership to keep their livelihoods and neighborhoods from shutting down completely.
No more crime! No more crime! No more crime!
A few dozen people with signs stood in front of the 24-hour Colonial Donut shop that was victimized again Friday morning.
What is going on here in Oakland?
2 suspects jumping over the counter, removing the cash drawer, one even helping himself to a donut on his way out. Many customers outraged.
This is the 3rd time that Colonial Donuts has been robbed. 2 times this week alone. 3 times in the last 6 months. This is unacceptable.
I don't see what the problem is, right? I don't see what the problem is because these young scholars were hungry, right? They were hungry. They needed something to eat. They needed a donut. You can take it. You're a small business. You should be able to just, you know, eat the losses, right? Because the criminals eating is much more important than you eating and feeding your family, right? To me, it sounds like a whole bunch of racism going on here, okay? That's what it sounds like to me. You're criminalizing black folks. Right? Isn't that the argument that woke progressives make in order to defend this type of stuff? To say that this is okay, that this is acceptable? I'm just saying, all of a sudden, now people want to be outraged and upset about something that clearly and obviously was going to happen as a result of voting for progressive leadership. And see, this is why I say Republicans need to start pointing at people like Brandon Johnson. Okay? Some of these people out here, like, point at these woke Democrat mayors and use them as the archetype for this is what the Democrat Party believes. This is how your city, this is how our country is going to end up if you vote for these people, right? Especially Brandon Johnson. He's the #1 lunatic, right? He's probably the most recognizable one. But I'm just saying, you got to make these people household names, right? The same way that the media, the mainstream media has Trump derangement syndrome, you got to have Brandon Johnson derangement syndrome, right? You got, which, hey, it's justified, right? That's a justified issue to have, right? If you're deranged over Brandon Johnson, that actually makes sense, okay? Because the guy he's a lunatic, right? He's actually really a threat to this country. He really is. And all of these woke mayors and DAs as well, too. Republicans got to do a better job of putting spotlight on these people.
We have crime that is out of control, and we are becoming the joke, the butt of the joke for crime across the country.
Yeah, you are. Especially for people like me, right? For people like me, you're doing me a favor, okay? Your voting is doing me a favor, okay? Even though I hate to see it, right? I hate to see it be so ignorant, but it gives me a lot of content to make. So, yeah, I appreciate it. You are the joke, right? You are the joke of the country, right? You really are. You really are.
Chris Moore is a neighbor and a self-proclaimed community activist. He's running for the 5th District for county supervisor. He called out city leaders for what he says is failed policy.
The people in power today, they're not even talking about this.
A multi-generational family has run this popular small business on Lakeshore Avenue for 40 years.
Allowing these businesses to be robbed day by day is what's destroying this community. And Nikki Bass and Sheng Tao are the reason for that.
Across the street, a business owner spoke how he was also assaulted and robbed twice in 2 days this week and couldn't get a hold of 911.
I called 911. They connected me to the dispatch, but no dispatch. This was on Monday morning, 9 a.m.
On Tuesday, Barzine was getting out of his car when he was held up at gunpoint by 3 men, knocked down and robbed.
I had my iPad, my wallets, my credit cards, and nobody came. I tried calling the police, couldn't get a hold of them.
Well, that's the result of demonization of the police, right? That's the result of people boo-hoo-whining and crying during the George Floyd era, talking about how police are so bad and so terrible. And then look what happened. All of them quit because people say, hey, I don't want to do this job. I don't want to do this job because doing my job could basically, end up with me being thrown in jail and then almost get stabbed to death, being called a racist, having my life destroyed, right, for doing my job. Okay, again, what happened with Derek Chauvin had such a negative effect on this country that people do not realize. That honestly is something that should be studied, right? It should be studied. The negative effect of what happened to Derek Chauvin and how that has caused a mass exodus of people from law enforcement and how that has affected these liberal cities. Because I really do believe that a lot of these liberal cities are being destroyed because of what happened during the George Floyd riots. The George Floyd incident, for multiple reasons, is probably one of the worst things that ever happened to this country. And we're still feeling the effects of it 3 years later. It's really fascinating.
Homeowner John Glenn says the crime and lack of leadership is detrimental to helping Oakland prosper, and property values are also taking a huge hit.
And Oakland has dropped more than 10% in value because of the crime. There's no other reason. The property values were increasing significantly, but now it's turned around. So
yeah, because nobody wants to stay there anymore, right? Who wants to move to Oakland? Right? Who wants to move to California, period? That's why there's a mass exodus from California. People are leaving California in droves. Part of the reason has to do with the crime. Part of the reason has to do with the cost of living. It's too expensive. It's expensive. It's crime-filled. The cities are chaotic. Traffic is crazy. Taxes are out of control. Why would you want to live in this type of place? I don't understand. I don't get it. So, yeah, of course property value is going to drop. This is a result of Democrat policies.
So this is not only affecting us today, but in the future.
I reached out to Mayor Sheng Tao. Her office provided a statement indicating she's focused on taking aggressive action to reduce crime, adding that Oakland has more police officers on the force in the last 2 years, and she's committed to focusing on initiatives that reduce crime and improve a safer sense of security. In the newsroom, Alice Wirtz, KTVU.
And Alice, just real quickly before you go, did the business owners say any specifics on what they would like to see done?
They would like more accountability. They'd like more patrols for beat officers, as well as from the county district attorney. They'd like some of these criminals to be prosecuted to the full extent of the law.
Okay, good to hear from some of those voices. Thanks.
Yeah, again, that's a big part of it, because it doesn't really matter if you put more police on the street if the criminals aren't actually being punished, right? If you're playing catch and release, then it's pointless, right? You need to play catch and keep them locked up and throw away the key. I'm so serious. That's what has to happen. But again, once again, you see the results of voting Democrat backfiring, right? And these people now boohoo whining and complaining about something that they most likely probably voted for. So it is what it is, man. I just hope that as a result of this, we see a giant red wave like we've never seen before in 2024. But I highly doubt it, right? Because it seems to me that, you know, a lot of these people, they have Stockholm syndrome, right? They kind of like what's happening to them, even though they complain about it. It's fascinating stuff. It really is. But hey, let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.